let me just start off by saying now is the time to bow down to the Todd father, okay? The Toddster has just released some absolute bangers. Now is the time to start naming all of your children Todd, okay? Middle name McFarlane. As if you guys couldn't tell, I'm absolutely joking here because McFarlane did something that, well, it's kind of what McFarlane does here. He announced some San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which will be available at his booth number something, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to be at the actual convention floor. The people that are going to be there, great. Don't rub it in my face, okay? I'm happy for you. Literally, I'm smiling right now. If you don't believe me, that's okay. You can just imagine me smiling and being happy that you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm not. So anyways, yeah, let's get serious here for a second. I actually wanted to cover some of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives coming at us from McFarlane Toys, and I don't know, it's a lot of what you would expect. It's a bunch of reuse, it's a bunch of repaints. I guess the exclusivity is a huge talking point, or it's a huge factor. A lot of people pick up these SDCC exclusives based solely on the fact that there are a very limited quantity available online, and I guess that kind of gets people going. That's cool if you're into that. Personally, none of these really do much for me, but if you guys are interested, there is a Hush Batman that is using gold plastic, or is painted gold. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to assume it's just yellow plastic with a little bit of paint here and there. It will come with a few extra hands, some batarangs, a lithograph card, as well as a display base. And I think the display base is probably the biggest selling point because I don't know how many times he's reused that Batman body mold up to this point. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's gotten old, because I still think that from time to time when he uses that exact same body mold with a new head sculpt and, you know, new limbs, it actually does look pretty cool. But I'm not feeling the gold accent to this particular figure. It's supposed to be like an homage to like the old Kenner line, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure. I don't remember action figures from that time frame because I was a tiny little single-celled organism, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, the display base looks to be my favorite thing about this reveal. It's something that's really cool. I could easily see this being resold on eBay for like 3 to 4 times the price point. But yeah, the display base, hopefully he decides to make it available in a future release date, like maybe a deluxe of some kind with a better Batman, or a new Batman, I should say, at least. Now, the most exciting thing about the McFarlane SDCC exclusive announcements has to be the 2 Mortal Kombat 11 action figures that they're going to be making available. There's a new Raiden action figure and a Sub-Zero action figure. Both of these are going to have glow-in-the-dark components. Raiden will come with a staff, a couple of lightning bolts, a couple of extra hands, and then a card with a card stand. Sub-Zero will come with 2 ice axes, a frozen head and spine accessory piece, a base, as well as a card stand. And I have to say, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. I know it's brutal, I know it's violent, but this is something that I definitely would gravitate towards if I was there at the convention floor. Now, it is worth mentioning, and this is probably the most exciting thing about it, we know that McFarlane is supposed to be working on a new Mortal Kombat wave that is supposed to integrate more of the classic designs for the Mortal Kombat universe, and that's what really gets me excited. The fact that he's going back to Mortal Kombat, it felt like for a very long period of time he really wasn't making any collectibles based on the video game franchise, and now that we're getting Mortal Kombat 11 action figures, it gives me hope for the future that within the next few months, or at SDCC, we finally get to see the new Mortal Kombat wave released from McFarlane. It's very exciting, it's very enticing to me. That actually feels closer to home for me because I haven't played any of the newer Mortal Kombat video games. I'm more of like the old school trilogy is really where I spent most of my time playing. We also got another image for the new San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Beast Boy action figure. I had already talked about this in a previous video, but just kind of going back to it, it's another pretty little promotional image. I think the previous image that we had revealed, if I'm not mistaken, was just kind of like a leaked image. It looked weird. It didn't look great. It wasn't in focus. This is more of like a pretty promotional image with the backdrops and everything. I will say the Teen Titans entire crew has kind of been disrespected over the past few years. It feels like we've gotten like characters pulled from different storylines or different universes. Like we got an animated Cyborg, and then we have like this particular character from that universe or that comic book line, and they just never quite fit together. But it's nice to see a new Beast Boy action figure. Love the head sculpt, love the classic color design. They're also going to have an SDCC exclusive Kingdom Come Superman action figure. And, you know, similar to what we've been saying, it does come with some extra hands. I think like a couple of extra hands and then some effect pieces that can be ported onto the body. But it's about the backdrop. I think that's really the big selling point. It's about all the bells and whistles. It's about them pulling out all the stops. That's really what you're expecting with a lot of these San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. I love the design of this. I think it's supposed to be based on a comic book cover. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks phenomenal. It's going to display incredibly well. And that's really what we expect from, you know, exclusives. Usually it's like a repaint with some extras added, you know, similar to the base for Batman. This just looks absolutely killer. Just a heads up, there's also another Jokerized action figure. I'm going to breeze through this because I hate talking about these ridiculous repainted action figures. It's essentially what I said. It's a Jokerized Robin. I think they're reusing that Dark Knight Returns body mold, which I think originally was a female Robin, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quite remember, but it's kind of a weird reuse. It really doesn't fit in. Honestly, none of these Jokerized action figures make a lot of sense in my tiny little reptilian brain, but I'm sure there's people out there that collect anything that McFarlane releases, and you know, it is what it is. If you guys are interested, that's now up for pre-order. But one of the most exciting figures, at least in my personal opinion, has to be the new John Cena Peacemaker action figure. As we know, season 2 is right around the corner, and we're finally getting John Cena in action figure plastic form. It appears that the helmet is removable. He will come with an eagle and then maybe some extra hands. Again, this is just a promotional image. We don't have the entire reveal. We don't know exactly what he's going to come with, and we also don't know if he's going to come with in a collector's edition line or a regular DC Multiverse line. You know, that's really up in the air at the moment of this recording. What's interesting is they're actually making, I think, some sort of event which is supposed to, like, I guess, celebrate the whole Peacemaker series and the reveal. And I think those people are going to be the ones that are kind of at the front of the line when it comes to pre-ordering this figure. But definitely stay tuned, because I think there will be quite a bit of news upcoming when it comes down to this figure. I will say I'm not sure how much of this is reused, but I actually really like this body mold. I love the design. I love the color palette that they're using here. I'm going to assume that this is just a reuse from the James Gunn, what was it, the Suicide Squad film? But still, it looks great. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for people that might have missed out on the original one. You guys are going to be able to pick up the newest John Cena here for the season 2 of Peacemaker. And then just a quick little side note. I know I usually don't talk about like statues or any of these little small little diorama sets that McFarlane usually releases, especially since they're sports related. But I do love baseball. I watch it pretty consistently, and I sometimes pay attention to the UFC. So we are getting a Sean Strickland little statue, as well as a Tatis Jr. I love the Tatis one. I'm going to assume that this was already released previously, and maybe it's just like a repainted version. I've heard that they're going to start doing, like, you know, different uniforms. So I'm going to assume that this particular version of Tatis is just like an alternate color scheme. I'm not sure which one is like a home jersey or an away jersey, but maybe that's the real difference between the original one and the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of some of these extra really cool San Diego Comic-Con exclusives coming from McFarlane. Most of these were a recap because I kind of already talked about them in previous videos, and hopefully soon we get like more images. I hate getting these just little tiny teaser images where you just get like one image of the actual action figure rather than getting like a full representation of how the packaging looks, what's going to be in there, you know, the extra hands, the extra head sculpts, accessories, things of that nature. For the most part, we're just reading descriptions and then getting, you know, one promotional image. So hopefully we get more information, and if we do, I will definitely make sure to update all of you guys on anything that is upcoming from McFarlane. It's very exciting. This is like probably the best time for collectibles. It's the summer. It's the peak of summer where, you know, your shoes are melting. You know, we can make that whole dad joke about eggs frying on top of cars, but I'm not going to do that. It's really hot, and you know, it's around that time when conventions just start to hit us really hard, and yeah, I'm very excited. I'm not going to be there at San Diego Comic-Con, but it's still fun to see all of the cool, neat collectibles. And McFarlane is not pulling any punches, especially with the 2 Mortal Kombat action figures being announced. I absolutely love it. The fact that he's including backdrops and essentially like little display bases for some of these DC Multiverse action figures, I absolutely love it. That's what Comic-Cons are about. give us exclusives that just go all out. Don't just repaint something and throw it in a new package. Like, actually do something creative, do something out of the box, and I'm thoroughly enjoying what McFarlane is doing here. But as always, this is my personal take, my personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you guys plan on picking up any of these? Will you be at San Diego Comic-Con? I'm kind of curious to see what everybody has to say about these. They're very interesting, and honestly, I could sit here and talk about these for hours on end, but I'm not going to do that because that would be absolutely insane, and my mouth is dry. I'm dehydrated at this point. Stay safe out there. Make sure to enjoy the hobby. Pose your action figures, play around with them. Stay safe out there, and as always, make sure to stay tuned because we are uploading action figure content almost on a daily basis. I have so much fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content just as much as I love putting it together for you guys. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.